Broncos Country, listen up, things are heating up behind closed doors as playoff fever takes hold. The tension is palpable, and I have got the inside scoop on every single roster move happening right this second. Before we break it down, smash that like button if you have been bleeding orange and blue for more than 15 years. It is amazing seeing the loyalty across generations. Drop a comment saying, "Go Broncos" if you are ready for a Super Bowl run. Doubters exist, but mark my words. If this team punches their ticket, nobody is stopping us from taking it all. We will absolutely crush them. Now, let's get to business. Denver is making power moves, and we have a ton to cover. Even on a bye week, this franchise dominates the news cycle, and the latest updates are absolute game changers. Let's cut straight to the core of the action, beginning with a massive shakeup that caught everyone off guard. The front office made a ruthless call cutting Josh Reynolds, a guy we all thought was a marquee signing this year. Arriving from Detroit, he brought a solid reputation as a dependable weapon with elite separation skills. That was exactly what our receiving core was starving for when the season kicked off. He flashed brilliance early on, topping the charts in separation. But everything came crashing down. A broken finger against Vegas halted his progress, but the situation spiraled even further out of control. He faced a terrifying ordeal off the field involving a shooting incident, heavily compounding his struggles. You might suspect his release was tied to that drama, but the reality is actually much more revealing. This cut signals Sean Payton's immense faith in the explosive young talent emerging in our receiver room. Marvin Mims has been an absolute sensation, proved by that 93-yard lightning strike to the end zone. Tying historic records, that play wasn't just about speed. It was a statement that he can flip a game instantly. Troy Franklin is stepping up big time, while Courtland Sutton remains the rock-solid foundation of this offense. Payton is going all in on youth, marking a strategic pivot in Denver's philosophy. It is a bold strategy prioritizing long-term dominance without sacrificing our winning edge right now. However, it is not all sunshine. Injuries are piling up, sparking real fear regarding our defensive stability. Star safety Brandon Jones, who has been electric all year, exited mid-game with a worrying groin issue. If you did not catch it, you are not alone. The post-game chatter barely whispered a word about his condition. Signed as a free agent, Jones has been the linchpin of our secondary, filling Justin Simmons' shoes effortlessly. His knack for shutting down enemy quarterbacks has completely transformed our defensive identity. Remember, back in Miami, the analytics rated him as one of the premier safeties in the entire NFL. Losing a weapon like that, even for a week, could be catastrophic for our defensive scheme. Devin Key filled the gap, but the decline in performance was glaring and immediate. An undrafted rookie just cannot replicate that veteran impact, and it showed as we surrendered nearly 400 yards. Compare that to our usual 190 yards allowed, and the contrast is absolutely staggering. It is night and day. If Jones is out long-term, expect the front office to scour the waiver wire immediately. Compounding the crisis, injuries to studs like Riley Moss are peeling back layers of our defensive armor. With Moss sidelined, it is painfully obvious how vital he is to keeping our secondary locked down. Missing these starters weakens us significantly, and while the backups are fighting hard, the talent gap exists. Effort is not the issue, but the drop in execution is undeniable and, frankly, quite alarming. We looked shaky against a backup quarterback, which is a massive red flag for our postseason ambitions. Fixing this unit is now priority number one. But let's pivot to the good news because there is plenty of it. Our pass rush is elite, arguably the deepest and most dangerous group in the entire National Football League. Nik Bonitto is on a tear, racking up more sacks than superstars like Myles Garrett or TJ Watt. That is a monumental achievement, and the firepower doesn't end there with Cooper, Ellis, and Sanders. This rotation keeps our attack fresh and relentless, haunting opposing quarterbacks on every single down. Jonah Ellis proves this depth perfectly. Despite limited reps, he is putting up monster numbers. He has already tallied 5 sacks in a crowded room, showing incredible efficiency when his number is called. Making that kind of impact with limited snaps speaks volumes about the lethal talent we have assembled. Cultivating and utilizing this talent effectively proves the franchise is dedicated to constructing from within, via the draft, and we cannot overlook George Payton's influence here, as the general manager has weathered heavy scrutiny, especially regarding the Russell Wilson deal. Yet his instinct for spotting raw ability is indisputable. Seeing how he selected icons, such as Marvin Mims and Pat Surtain, to unearthing diamonds like Quinn Miners and Nik Bonitto, proves Payton has systematically assembled a lineup that is youthful and starving for victory, placing the Broncos in prime territory for instant wins while securing enduring dominance for future seasons. as Denver stands on the brink of clinching their inaugural postseason berth in. 8 years confirming this squad was reconstructed properly. But I need your opinion, Broncos Country. Do you feel assured about this rookie receiver group, or do the defensive injuries concern you? Drop your perspective below. Remain locked in, as we have much more to cover regarding this thrilling campaign, since the richness and skill on this Denver lineup extend far beyond the athletes we listed previously. This unit possesses surges of game changers, and each individual has served a vital function in elevating Denver to its current standing, ranging from elite draft picks to unsigned free agents. The team is witnessing impact from every angle. Look at Marvin Mims as the perfect illustration. He is not just performing at receiver, but also establishing himself as a lethal force on special teams, where his volatile velocity and creative skills have transformed him into a catalyst across various aspects of the match, an element we have missed lately. And we must discuss the defensive unit briefly, specifically Jonathan Cooper, who earned that extension through his steady output, keeps radiating excellence. Cooper has remained unyielding this year, and although the numbers may not jump from the sheet, his influence on the gridiron is impossible to ignore. He is tracking for a magnificent season, and alongside players like Nik Bonitto and Jonah Ellis, one realizes this Denver defense possesses the capacity to rule the league for ages. Regarding Ellis, we pause to recognize the shockwaves he has sent during his debut campaign. Even with restricted chances, Ellis has succeeded in accumulating 5 sacks. Measure that against other newcomers around the NFL, and it is evident Ellis is shattering predictions. And what makes this more striking is he achieves it while splitting playing time with a loaded rotation of edge defenders. Men like Bonitto, Cooper, and soon Drew Sanders render it virtually hopeless for rival attacks to find relief. The aptitude Denver shows in striking gold with these selections must not be exaggerated in the modern league. Securing a couple of reliable starters in one class is a victory, yet Denver is witnessing possible superstardom from multiple athletes in 1 year. Marvin Mims, Jonah Ellis, Riley Moss, and even deep round and unselected talents such as Jaquan McMillian and Dondrea Tillman are all adding value significantly, which honors George Payton's eye for scouting and Sean Payton's expertise in nurturing raw gifts. Even the veteran acquisitions have proven to be jackpots. Zach Allen, DJ Jones, and Brandon Jones arrived to reinforce vulnerable spots, and they have all surpassed projections. Brandon Jones specifically has shown in the backfield, supplying steadiness and game-changing skills, vital for the squad's triumph. Missing him due to physical setbacks even briefly would represent a massive blow. Yet it is obvious this roster is constructed to adjust and conquer, and we must remember the attacking side of the field. The revival of Denver's attack has become one of the year's most thrilling narratives. Sean Payton's system is beginning to mesh, and athletes such as Courtland Sutton and Marvin Mims are flourishing within it despite Josh Reynolds' exit. This receiver group appears ready to advance to the next level. Payton's belief in the unit speaks loudly, and it is evident he thinks the components are arranged for lasting victory. Gazing forward, Denver is approaching the most pivotal stretch of the campaign, with the postseason visible for the first instance in nearly 10 years. Every match counts. The franchise is surfing a surge of energy, and supporters possess every cause to trust. This crew can mount a legitimate charge. The groundwork is established, and now it concerns performance in the final phase. Broncos Country. The path forward is equal parts. Thrilling and anxiety-inducing physical tolls will challenge the reserves of this lineup, but the skill exists to surmount every hurdle. What is your perspective on the franchise's condition? Are you as captivated as me by the input from our rising legends? How do you perceive Sean Payton's faith in the catching unit? And do you reckon Denver possesses the grit to not merely reach the tournament but cause chaos? Once they arrive, let us maintain the dialogue, flowing, and as usual remain connected, as there is an abundance left to analyze regarding this phenomenal year.